Before we get started, can we there's like 5 different topics, 6 different topics that we want to talk about from this weekend. Obviously, I know you guys have hit that on the Trump issue, to Kyrie, that issue, if it's an issue, to my new teammates, to my free agency next summer, to what do I feel about the team in the upcoming season. If we can, like, whatever topic that y'all want to hit, let's stay there before we move on to the next, because once I talk about it, I don't want to go back. So whatever topic Tom, you starting it, please stay in that topic. I'll answer all the questions in that, and then whenever y'all want to move on to the next one, let's do it. So that's all I gotta say. Appreciate it. Go ahead.
Tom Withers, Associated Press. Where do you want to start, bro?
Let's do let's do the Kyrie thing. Let's do that.
Okay. What were your thoughts about him asking to be traded? And then I know last week he said that he didn't consult with you, before he decided to do that. Did that hurt at all?
Well, my initial thoughts when I heard that Kyrie wanted to be traded, I had a ton of emotions. I was wondering if something I could have did better to make him not want to be traded. Is it the way that the season finished, or was it me coming back in the first place? Was it the coaching changes, or the GM change, or I don't know. I had so many different emotions go through my head, and for me personally, you guys are around. For the guys that was around every day, I try to do whatever I could do to help the kid out, be the best player he can be, try to help him, be a better leader, be a better scorer, a better floor general, a better defender, a better passer, getting guys involved, a better leader vocally. I try to give him everything and give him as much of the DNA as I could, because like I told you guys throughout the season, at some point when he was ready to take over the keys, I was ready to give them to him. So upset about is that he took a lot of the DNA and the blueprints now to Boston. That's the only thing I'm upset about, really. Other than that, I wish the kid great health, and the kid wanted to do what was best for his, for his career, and I give credit to our GM, Kobe, and our to the ownership for granting that for him. So other than that, I don't really have much more to say. Like I said, with so many different emotions, I just hope that I was I try to do whatever I could, just try to help the kid be as great as he could be, or as great as he wanted to be, and and that's it.
LeBron, Nick Michaels, WRGM. What advice do you have for Kyrie now that he is in Boston and he is the guy? What kind of pressure will he have?
Give him everything and give him as much of the DNA as I could, because like I told you guys throughout the season, at some point when he was ready to take over the keys, I was ready to give them to him. So the only thing I'm upset about is that he took a lot of the DNA and the blueprints now to Boston. That's the only thing I'm upset about, really. Other than that, I wish the kid great health, and the kid wanted to do what was best for his, for his career, and I give credit to our GM, Kobe, and our to the ownership for granting that for him. So other than that, I don't really have much more to say. Like I said, with so many different emotions, I just hope that I was I try to do whatever I could to try to help the kid be as great as he could be, or as great as he wanted to be, and and that's it.
LeBron, Nick Michaels, WRGM. What advice do you have for Kyrie now that he is in Boston and he is the guy? What kind of pressure will he have, and what advice do you have for him that you would like to tell him?
No, I don't have any advice for him now. I got no advice for him or any other people that's on any other team. No, listen, man, we trying to win a championship here. I don't have time to give advice to other guys. You're either with us or you're against us. So, I'm truly humbled and excited, and it was a gratifying 3 years that we played together. But Even if my son went to another team and we was playing against each other, I'm not giving him shit. Nah, he'd come home and eat dinner or something, but he'd get no advice from me. That's just the way it go.
Dave McMenamin, ESPN. LeBron, one, how do you see those emotions manifesting on opening night playing against Kyrie? And also, have you had any interaction with him since the trade?
Well, emotions will come up anytime you've hosted a trophy with a teammate. And there's different levels of emotion, obviously, depending on the player or different, what you went through with that guy. But it was emotions when I came back to Cleveland and I saw, D Wade and Udonis and Chris and Mario and those guys. When the first time I seen those guys, a lot of emotions, tons of emotions, because you know what you went through. There was emotions last year when Deli came back for the first time, after hosting the trophy. So there will be emotions that go through your head because the grind and everything that you went through with that particular player, being Kyrie. But hopefully, and I've been in this position before, so I know once the game gets going, then I'll be able to just focus on us just trying to get better and be the best team that we can be that night. And that's the only thing that matters.
Have you had any communication?
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I haven't since he got traded. I had a little dialogue with him when I heard that he wanted to be traded. But since then, I haven't. You guys know Kyrie, so. Next question.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. I think it was your first year back. We talked about, you'd said he can be stubborn and hard-headed at times and stuff you were trying to show him and teach him. Did you see this coming at all, even walking off the floor in Oracle at all? We don't get to see everything that goes on, obviously, with you guys. Did you have any sort of sense of this coming?
No, I don't think anybody in the organization senses it coming. You guys don't see him all the time, but Jason, you're around enough. If it's something that we see, you guys would have saw as well. So it was definitely a shock, but we did a great job of. I think, like I said, Kobe and the guys in the front office did a great job of putting together a great package for our team to be as complete as we've been in a long time. That's what I'm truly excited about.
Of what was said with him, but you did have some sort of interaction with him. Was he at all receptive to you I assume you reached out to him. Was he at all receptive to that?
I reached out to him because I just wanted to get a little insight on, why he felt like he wanted to move on, and and it was, it was like I said, I had a lot of emotions in my head, but I'm one to always kind of reach out to someone and just see, from their vantage point of, because when I heard it from a third or fourth party, and I don't, so many things can be fabricated when you hear from different sources and different people, and obviously the word source in this world is the worst thing in the world, especially in the sports world. So I'm not a source guy, so I went straight to the guy. And he basically just let me know that was the direction he wanted to go in. And I was okay with that. It's a business. I understand that. And it doesn't stop me from leading this franchise and leading this team and going on about it. But I definitely wanted to just go right to him and ask him, and he clarified it for me, so I was at ease.
Was that prior to us finding out? Was that prior to the world finding out?
I don't know when you guys found out about it, to be honest. I spent a lot of time this summer with my son and their basketball tournaments and things of that nature. So when I hear about things, it's kind of shocking to me because I'm not even really on my phone that much as far as the media's perspective, because I kind of try to give it a break. But I don't know when you guys heard about it. But when I heard about it, I just went to the source.
Joe Barton, Cleveland.com. LeBron, I'd like to shift the conversation to your future here. When you came back 3 years ago, and it was a euphoric time for you and everybody around you, but you said on several occasions that you intended to finish your career here, and I guess I wanted to approach it this way. Has that thought or feeling for you changed, and if so, why?
It hasn't changed, and that's why I sit up here today, still in this uniform, still ready to lead this franchise to a championship. put us in a position where we can be successful. Obviously you guys know with me, and anytime I'm able to, either be a free agent or my contract is ending, then I'll approach that, when the summer comes. I won't ever, cheat my teammates or cheat the fans or in a situation where I'm worried or talking about free agency all year long, because I'm not going to give energy to something that I can handle in the summertime when I should be focused on what I need to do on a day-to-day basis to help this franchise compete for a championship, because that's what the front office wants. And, I think that's what, Kobe will want and the front office will want. I think that's what Dan will want. If that wasn't the case, they wouldn't have made the deal that they made to bring in this group of talent and made the, deals to get D. Rose here and Jeff Green here and Jose Calderon and guys like that to have championship-level talent. So it's my obligation to, to go about it that way. And when the summer comes, I will approach that.
LeBron, John Telich, Fox 8, how are you?
Fantastic.
Good to be talking with you. Question about this year. You just answered Joe's question about you're going to give it your best. How do you frame your efforts with getting the rest of your team to be on the same kind of a page with you vis-a-vis wanting to win a championship this year?
Well, it's a process. We understand that's a day-to-day process every single day from our coaching staff down to the players and down to everyone else that's in line with that. When you become a part of a team like this, you inherit what has happened and what will happen in the future. And we got a great group. We had a great mini camp in Santa Barbara last week. And, the best thing about it is guys just came in to work. No entitlement at all. No unfocus about what we want to do. And, we know we're here for a reason. And we're all here for a reason, and we want to compete at the highest level. Our coaching staff will give us a game plan every single night like they always do, and it's up to us to go out and execute it.
LeBron, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. You mentioned not putting energy towards something that's going to happen so far into the summer. Given the other two times that you've gone through this process, what, if anything, did you take from 2010, 2014 to make sure that during the season this kind of thing isn't a distraction?
It's never been a distraction for me, personally. If you look back in 2010, I tried to put that team in a position to compete for a championship, and obviously we played extremely well throughout the regular season, and we ran into a team that was more talented than us in Boston, and they beat us. And in the same, in 2014, I was a part of a team to try to help them get to a place where, a lot of teams haven't been in and be able to three-peat, and we got all the way there, but it was a team that was playing and hitting at all cylinders better than us at that point in time in San Antonio. So my focus has always been there if you just go back and look at my game and look at my team. So I don't think anything will change.
Jeff Shadell, News Herald. If I heard you correctly, when Joe asked you, he said that you said that you plan on finishing your career here. Was that correct? Did I hear that? And so, if that's the case, then what is there really to decide next summer?
Well, at the end of the day, I have a contract, and I will fill out that obligation, which I've always done. And if you guys know me, I don't know if you know me as much. But I've always handled it in the most business-like way, and I will do that with my team, and we'll handle that in the summertime, as we always have.
LeBron, Kenny Rhoda, WHBC. With this year's team, Dwayne Wade last night was granted his out of that contract with the Chicago
I'm in a very good
Bulls.
mood, so I'm going to allow you to have a question, okay?
Thanks.
I'm in a very good mood. It's the
Appreciate
start of a new
that.
season. I almost thought about just telling you to pass the mic, but it's media day. I'm in a great mood. I feel great. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about everything that's going on, including every question y'all can ask me today.
Yeah.
There's not one question that y'all can ask me that I cannot answer. So I'm going to allow you to have one question, and that's it.
All right, cool.
I'm letting you know that may be it for the rest of the year. But go ahead.
Okay. All right.
You guys know I'm the same guy. I'm back, and I'm the same guy. You guys, go ahead. Go ahead, Kenny.
Glad you're back.
Go ahead.
Dwayne Wade last night gets the buyout. He's a free agent. Is this somebody that you will reach out to? A lot of, different parts to the team this year. This could be another part that's added. Is this the player you're going to reach out to and talk to the front office about bringing to this team this year?
I would love to have D-Wade a part of this team. I think he brings another championship DNA, a championship pedigree. It brings another playmaker to the team who can get guys involved, that can make plays, and also just has a great basketball mind. And I think it would be great to have him here. And obviously our front office has done some great things throughout this summer, and so I've talked to D-Wade throughout the whole summer, and I probably will reach out to him as well. But it's not up to me. It's kind of up to D-Wade. If he can clear waivers, then it's up to our front office. But I hope that we can bring him here. I would love to have him. You're welcome.
Brian Windhurst, ESPN. LeBron, your role is going to be different this year because you may have to handle the ball a little bit more with Isaiah going to be out for a while, and it's gotten out that your workouts this summer were very intense, and that you, even though you come in at a very high level every year, that this year is even a higher level. So considering the changes in the team and the changes that you have to make, could we see a different type of player this year? How are you approaching it?
I'm ready to go. It's one of the best off seasons I've had in my career, and I'm extremely excited. I think that what got me more excited about the game of basketball is actually being with my sons over the summer and watching their AAU games. And you've probably seen a couple of videos when I was not nice dad throughout the course of some of those games. But the basketball Jones and the basketball fever was put back in me early in July, and it's crazy to say that my 12-year-old and my 10-year-old can inspire me, and they did. And their teammates inspired me to get in the gym, and I know I always get better throughout the off season. I always work on my game and work on my body throughout the off season, but something was just different. Something was just different this off season, and hopefully I can. I'm not here to talk about it because that's not what I do. I put it on the floor.
Your feelings on individual awards are well known. Way you finished in the ratings the last few years are well known. But with the differences in the league and the way the league has changed, there may be a window this year for you to maybe make a statement.
I got a window?
You have a window.
Yeah. I don't like a window.
You have an opportunity to maybe
make
a statement about where your game still is.
Where my game still is? I don't know. The fact that I come up here and talk about free agency lets me know where my game is. Does that make sense? If I wasn't that good, I don't think we'd be talking about it.
LeBron, Tony Zarella, Cleveland 19. If I could shift gears now to the sports and politics continuing to collide.
For sure.
We're seeing more and more groups, but in actually more peaceful, larger groups in the NFL, certainly. Yeah. You spoke out the other day. Are you hopeful that positive change is coming, or do you feel the divide is growing greater?
Well, first of all, I salute, like I said yesterday, if you guys see my social media platform, I salute the NFL, the coaches, the players, the owners, the fans, everyone that had anything or any association with the NFL yesterday. It was unbelievable. It was solidarity, and there was no divide. There's no divide, even from that guy that continues to try to divide us as people. And like I said on one of my social media platforms a couple of days ago, the thing that kind of frustrated me and pissed me off a little bit is the fact that he's now he used sport. He used the sports platform to try to divide us. And sports is so amazing what sports can do for everyone, no matter the shape or size or race or ethnicity or religion or whatever. People find teams, people find players, people find colors because of sport, and they just gravitate towards that, and it just make them so happy. And it brings people together like none other. And I'm not going to let, while I have this platform, to let one individual, no matter the power, no matter the impact that he should have or she should have, ever use sport as a platform to divide us. And then you go to the other side, and when you don't talk about sports, and they try to divide us from that side as well. And the one thing that I can say and just think about is how can we personally, throughout everything that guy is doing, no matter if you voted for him or not, you may have made a mistake, and that's okay. If you voted for him, it's okay. I mean, I've done things for my kids and realized I shouldn't have gave my daughter that many damn Skittles. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. She won't go to sleep now. Can we sit up here and say that I'm trying to make a difference? And can we sit up here and say that I can look myself in the mirror and say that I want the best for the American people, no matter the skin color, no matter the race, no matter how tall or athletic you are or whatever the case may be? Can we sit up here and say that we are trying to make a difference? Because we know this is the greatest country in the world. It's the land of the free. But we still have problems just like everybody else. And when we have those problems, we have to figure out a way how we come together and be as great as we can be as the people. Because the people run this country, not one individual. And damn sure not him. Yeah. So as I got this platform and as I have a way to inspire and I have a way for my word to be bond. I will lend my voice. I will lend my passion. I will lend my money. I will lend my resources to my youth in my inner city and outside of my inner city to let these kids know that, there is hope. There's greater walks of life, and not one individual, no matter if it's the President of the United States or if it's someone in your household, can stop your dreams from becoming reality. And it's that simple. Or maybe not that simple if you can't appreciate it.
Hey, Bron, Tom Withers, AP again. Is there any regret that you got into a name-calling situation with the president?
No. A name calling. What'd I say? Let me hear you say it.
Called him a bum.
It's not a name call. It's you bum. Me and my friends call each other that all the time. I'm not his friend though. I don't want to see that on the note. He's not my friend.
Hey,
no, that was the first thing that when I woke up and saw what he said about Steph Curry. First of all, it's so funny because it's like you invite me to your party, right? But matter of fact, it's not like you invited me. It's almost like, Tom, hey, I'm not going to be able to make it. I'm not coming. And then you'd be like, hey, LeBron, guess what? You're not invited. I wasn't coming anyways. So that was funny to me when I woke up and saw that. So my first initial response was, I can't. First of all, you don't understand the magnitude, and you don't understand. He doesn't understand the power that he has for being the leader of this beautiful country. He doesn't understand how many kids, no matter the race, look up to the President of the United States for guidance, for leadership, for words of encouragement. He doesn't understand that. And that's what makes me more sick than anything, that we have someone this is the number one position in the world. Do you guys agree? Being the President of the United States is the most powerful position in the world. I don't know of another one. And if you can find one, let me know. It's the most powerful position in the world. And we are at a time where the most powerful position in the world has an opportunity to bring us closer together as a people and inspire the youth and put the youth at ease on saying that it is okay for me to walk down the street and not be judged because of the color of my skin or because of my race. And he has no recollection of that. And he doesn't even care. Maybe he does, but he doesn't care. So, do I take away. Do I just say, take away you bum off my, no, because if I did, I would have deleted my tweet.
Do you find is there a positive in all this, Bron, in that
absolutely, the conversation,
he's awakened people and conversations are happening?
The conversation has happened. Me, D-Wade, Melo, and CP stood on the biggest night of sports at the ESPYs. Stood on the stage. That's the biggest night in sports where all our colleagues from all over the world, all the sports champions and people who've been praised all over the world for their accomplishment over that last year. And we stood on stage and we understood the magnitude that we were headed into. So I love the fact that the conversation has started. I watched Sunday Countdown yesterday at 10 o'clock. And for the first 20 minutes, Charles Woodson, Rex Ryan, Randy Moss, those guys all sat up there and talked about it for 30 minutes. And Rex Ryan, if you guys saw it, said he supported Trump in the beginning. And he voted for Trump and gave Trump money and actually had a rally for Trump. And he said he don't know if he made the right choice. So the conversation is being had.
Bron, Scott Sargent, WFNY. You started off your kind of presentation about the unifying measures in the NFL and how proud you were to see that. A lot can change between now and October 17th, but do you foresee anything like that trickling down through the NBA?
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised if something trickled down to the NBA if no change happened between now and the 17th. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. You live and work in a state in which the majority of voters voted for the current president, many of whom probably had valid reasons beyond his Twitter account or his social graces. How do you reconcile having called that choice a mistake, that many of those people are also Cavaliers fans?
Well, I mean, that's a great question. At the end of the day, like I said, you can. I don't think a lot of people was educated, and I think that's one of the biggest problems that we have when it becomes vote time. That people are just not educated on either the individual or what's actually going on in the state of the world right now. Not like that particular state, but in the state of the world. I don't think a lot of people are educated, and they make choices and say things that's uneducated. And am I saying that the people of Ohio wasn't educated? Am I saying that some of the other states that voted for him was uneducated? They could have been or they could not have been, but that doesn't mean that it was the right choice. I mean, you can go back into the history of time of sports and say the same thing because we keep bringing sports and politics into it. So you can look back at some of the greatest drafts of all time and say that, okay, did the Trailblazers make the right choice when they took Sam Bowie? I mean, can we all sit up here and say that they should have took Michael Jordan? Yes or no? So, for me as a professional athlete in this state, and even though this state voted for Trump, that doesn't stop me inspiring the people of this state and inspiring the youth. Because I would be even more at wrong if I started to down the people of Ohio. That makes zero sense. My job and my calling is much bigger than that guy. I don't even like saying his name. So while I have this platform, I will continue to inspire the state of Ohio, not only by what I do on the floor, but also by putting 1,300 kids in the school and spending almost $45 million.
LeBron, Harry Boomer, Channel 19, how are you?
Fantastic.
Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Question for you. You drawn a long line of African-American athletes, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Muhammad Ali, in speaking out. There have been others who have supposedly looked at the bottom line and said it is not advantageous for me dollar-wise to speak up and speak out on issues that could be divisive. Your thoughts on the monetary aspect of if you think you might lose some money, or do you really care about that at this point?
I can only speak for myself. I can't speak for none other. I definitely know the people that has paved the way for myself today. And you talk about guys like, Muhammad Ali and Jim Brown and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Bill Russell, Jesse Owens, Jackie Robinson, Austin Carr. These guys paved the way for guys like myself where I can feel confident about my words. I can feel confident about what I say, and hopefully that it hits home for somebody. I don't really get involved into the money issue thing, because I'm doing okay for myself. I'm doing okay for myself. My family's doing okay. But even if we weren't doing okay financially, I would still be trying to find a way to just better the youth and inspire the youth. So, but like I said, I can only speak for myself.
Thank you. Nolan from the Medina.
You turn his mic up.
Rick Nolan from the Medina Gazette. If things aren't improved by the 17th, could you ever see yourself doing something a la the NFL, or taking a knee during the anthem, or how would you feel if you didn't do it, if any of your teammates did?
Listen, I think we all have the right to express our feelings about whatever that's going on in that particular time, and I can respect that from my teammate or respect that from anybody in the league. For me personally, my voice, for me personally, is more important than my knee. I talk to you guys every single day, and what I say, I think it should hit home for a lot of people and know where I stand. I don't believe that I have to get on my knee for me to even further what I'm talking about. But I don't down anybody that's doing it in the NFL. I salute Colin Kaepernick for being as powerful as he was and being the one that he had to fall on the sword, unfortunately. And I hate that. And I hope that some NFL owner, I wish I owned an NFL team right now, I'll sign him today. But I'm not. But I think my voice and what I do in my community and what I stand for, I don't think that I have to show you guys more by getting on a knee or doing something else or trying to create something else. But I think it's powerful what all these athletes are doing. We even had the first baseball player to do it 2 nights ago, I believe, wasn't it? 2 nights ago? That's phenomenal. So, I commend these guys, and I commend everybody that's just trying to make a difference. Because it's not about, we need to get this, it's not about the disrespect of the flag and our military and everybody that has made this world free. It is about equality and people having the option and the freedom to speak upon things that they feel that's not unjust. It's not about the disrespect of the flag. And I hope if anybody have anyone here that has any family members in the military or anybody that's ever been in any walks of life to try to save this world, because I do not. I have no family members. But I do understand that this is not a disrespect to the men and women who have served our world to help us become free. It's not about that. And the people that's trying to divide us are the ones who are trying to say that is a disrespect to the military families and to the people who served our country. It is not about that. It's the furthest away from that. Sorry.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. You've made your feelings abundantly clear on the president. Dan has an opposite view, obviously. He's been a financial supporter of Trump. He was at the White House in June. Donald called him a good friend, I believe. Has that had any impact on your relationship with him, and is that anything that you guys have discussed?
We have not discussed it face to face. It has no impact. I think if, just things when you put yourself in a position, like that, to even stand close to the guy like that, I think he will call. If anyone stand next to that guy, I think he will all say, you guys are close friends. He doesn't even know you. just thinking that's just how irrational his mind is. I can't speak for Dan. He's his own man, and I can't speak for the situation that happened. I can't speak for that, and he can tell you about that. But I think for me as a player of this franchise, then I got to just continue to do what I can do to help better this better this team, better the conversation, and continue to inspire. But I can't. It hasn't changed my relationship, and it hasn't changed my outlook on the situation. You guys know how I feel about that.
Tom Withers, AP again. We missed anything, Bron?
Yeah, my new teammates.
Yeah,
I could go out. You don't even have to ask me.
Yeah, IT.
First of all, I love Isaiah, and first of all, you guys know what he did for that franchise in Boston. He captivated the fans, captivated the city. I watched a lot of the Boston games, and listen to Tommy Heisman and keep calling him the little guy, the little guy, and it's seeing what he had to go through last year in the playoffs with the obviously I don't want to bring that up because I know he's trying to move forward, so I don't even want to bring that up, but we all know what I'm talking about, and for him to go out and still play the way he played, and I think it's just unfortunate that there had to be a change of scenery for him. I think he, his guy who was picked last in the draft, you call that Mr. Irrelevant, who has made himself an NBA All-Star and a big-time player, and felt like he finally had found a home, and just goes to show you how, it's just all about business. It's all about business. You guys see my tweets on that issue too, so you go back if you want to bring that up. But move on to Jay. Has a lot of battles with Jay over the last few years, and I love the acquisition of having Jay around. His toughness, his ability to guard 2s, 3s, and 4s, some 5s in our league. Not afraid to even guard some 1s. His ability to shoot the 3 gives us a lot more space, but his ability to cut too and move without the ball is something that a lot of people don't talk about. Jose, a steady point guard who's always been in the 40s in three-point percentage and also led the league in free throws at one point when he was in Toronto, I believe. Going into my Rolodex here now. So I'm great to have him. I'm excited more than anybody about Derek and D Rose. The kid has a lot to prove. From competing against him from so many years, especially in Miami when he was with Chicago, knowing the competitor that he has or he's been over the years. Been a fan of him for a long time, and I never thought in my wildest dreams that I'd be a teammate of his. I think he had a hell of a season last year, and people don't really see it because of the chaos that was going on in New York. Played 64 games, averaged 18 points, and 4-4. Played 64 games. And I'm excited to have him here because I want people to know that D Rose can still play the game at a high level. Jeff Green, I'm happy to have him. Another wing that can play multiple positions, can guard multiple positions, very athletic, and another guy that has a chip on his shoulder. All the guys that we picked, and Kobe did a great job of going to get them, they all got chips on their shoulders, and they all either want to not only prove people wrong, but prove themselves right more than anything, that they belong here and they can play at a high level. And then I haven't seen Big Z. I'm sorry, Zia, where your jersey at? Might strike me down. We get Z in the trade too from Boston, another big kid, young guy that we hope to develop over the course of the season. And, if his number is ever called, I think we see what he can do. And Jetty, it's Jetty, right? With a C? Am I saying it right? Jetty with a C, right? Watched him in EuroLeague this summer. Super athlete, runs the floor extremely well and plays some great ball for his national team. So, it'd be great to see him develop and compete against him throughout training camp and throughout the season, and see what his outlook on our team can be as well. Have I missed anybody? Is that it for the additions? That's it? Is that it for the questions? You guys got me for like 2 more questions. You can ask me anything and I'm out of here.
David Glazier from News Herald and Morning Journal. Theoretically, and I know everything has to play out through training camp and the regular season, but theoretically, could the rebalancing of the offense with the departure of Kyrie and the new arrivals in some way benefit the other guy in the big three who's still here, Kevin Love? And how do you see the offense remixing with Kevin in there this season?
You know what? I love the fact that he doesn't get talked about. It's the same way Chris Bosh was. Never got talked about. And at the end of the day, you look at the end of the stats and you see the impact that they made on the game, on both sides. Kevin Love may be lost in the grand scheme of things in the media or because he's not flashy or whatever the case may be, but he's nowhere near lost in the grand scheme of what we need to do to win a championship this year. And he's going to be a huge focal point for our team. And obviously I haven't seen, our coaching staff may have some things that they have in mind. We don't know. Tomorrow we begin. But I bet he will be a huge focal point of our team. So I'm happy that, extremely happy, he's still part of this franchise.
Marla Ridenour, Akron Beacon Journal. I'm just the changing NBA landscape and everything that happened over the summer. Were you taken aback or surprised or anything?
I really wasn't. I spent so much time with my boys and my daughter this summer. I mean, I've seen things when it came across, sometimes it come across my phone. Some of my notifications weren't turned off. I was like, what the hell? I don't watch SportsCenter. I really don't watch sports talks or sports shows, or it's not just SportsCenter. I don't single you guys out, but I don't watch none of that stuff, so I never see the ticker or whatever that's called. I do watch NBA TV because I like watching vintage games when they come on, so I watched a lot of vintage games this year. This summer, besides Game 5 of the 2017 Finals. That's the only game I didn't watch. So I've seen a lot of the things going on, and I knew we were in play for a few guys and things of that nature that didn't happen. And I kind of just moved on. I really didn't invest too much into it. I really don't get involved into fantasy basketball. When I know something is official, then I get really excited. And other than that, I'll just kind of just keep it even keel because I've seen so many things go both ways. You feel like you got a player, or you feel like this player's going there, and then the last minute something happens and you like them. So, but other than that, I really didn't get to invest it until this summer. I think the game. One thing I can say, this is the best NBA offseason I've ever seen, and I've been watching the NBA for 27 years, and I've been a part of the NBA for now 15 years, and it's probably the best NBA offseason that I've ever seen. And I wasn't a part of it that much. That's a pretty cool thing.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Where you're at physically right now?
Physically, I'm in a good place. I'm making progress each and every day. I'm getting stronger. These last really 3 weeks, I've been able to be with this training staff for six days a week, taking Sundays off and really focusing on getting my strength back in that big muscle. So the big thing about it is I sat out for 3 months. Like since the end of May, I haven't done anything. So the process now is getting that strength back and getting that muscle to fire again, and it's firing again. So it's just about trying to get all the inflammation out of my hip, but at the same time strengthening my hip to get back to where it was. So I'm at a good place right now. Each day is getting better. Each day is better than the previous day, and we're doing a little more each and every day. I'm able to get on the court and shoot, move around a little bit, and it's really good progress. I'm happy where I am right now because this summer I've had to sit down the whole summer, and that's been tough for me. But being able to be around the training staff each and every day has been great for me.
Isaiah John Telich, Fox 8. Nice to see you. Question about the experience where you're out at the mini camp out west with LeBron and the ability to start the bonding process with the new team, and then ultimately your goal to play with LeBron. How excited are you for that opportunity to be on the court and share the court with him?
Last week was great. I mean, I know most of these guys just from a competitive standpoint and playing against them, but I never really built a relationship with other than Kevin Love, which I've known since I was younger. But being around these guys, you see why they win, and you see why they're in the finals each and every year. The camaraderie of this team is just amazing. Like, I've been around them for just a week, and it's all jokes and it's all fun, but they know once they get on the court how serious it is. So I think with that being said, it's going to be a really good year for us. We have a lot of talent on this team, and then just the anticipation of playing with not just LeBron but everybody on this team. Like, I mean, as you guys seen before, in my previous years, like, I've been the guy that's kind of had to do most of the work, and it'd be great to be around the top players in the league on the same team, and I'm excited to be able to give them something they didn't have, and I bet they're excited to be. I'm excited to be able to be a part of something I've never been a part of, and that's a championship caliber team, and being around the coaching staff, the whole organization is just. It's real, genuine love since I've been here, and I'm excited about it.
Emmett Golden, ESPN Cleveland. Isaiah, the past few years you have been chasing the Cavaliers. How does your mindset have to change when you go from the hunter to the hunted?
It's a little weird. I was actually in the gym last night just looking up like, damn, I'm really on the Cavs. Like, I was trying to build some stuff to beat these guys. So now just being a part of that is just like, it's been amazing these last 3 or 4 weeks. Everybody's welcomed me with open arms. The organization, my teammates, my coaching staff, everybody a part of this organization have welcomed me and excited about me coming. And I can't say enough about it. Like, I can't wait to get back on the floor because I know what I bring to the table will help this team. And I can't wait for that day.
You've obviously outperformed your contract the last few years, played very high level, and obviously this is a really important year for you, for your contract. So how do you balance worrying about taking care of your hip and playing in, arguably your most important season of your career?
I think what I've done is solidified. Like, who I am as a player, that's solidified in this league. So it's no more proving what I can or cannot do. I think what's most important is just me getting healthy and me being out there 100%, not trying to, knowing me, like, I just want to play. And when I got traded to the Cavs, they're like, okay, slow down. Like, we want to make sure this thing is right. We want to make sure you're 100% and there's no after effects. And that's the good thing about these guys. There's no rush. And it's a good enough team to hold the fort and be special without me until I'm able to come back and help this team and hopefully win a championship here. So my mindset is just to get healthy and get 100%. And when it comes to basketball, I've taken care of that. I know what I bring to the table, and this team has brought me in to be who I am. And that's what's good about this organization and this group. So I don't think there's no more proving. Being on this platform and being on the stage of being able to compete for a championship is going to allow me to, like I've said before, be a max player.
I wanted to ask you one thing. There's a lot of stuff happened between the Celtics and the Cavs and all this, but one thing that I wanted to ask you about is Danny Ainge said at one point this summer that you'd been dealing with this hip issue since you were a teenager. Could you clarify that, whether that was true?
I mean, if you know athletes, most athletes have different types of hips. So it's nothing that a doctor hasn't seen. Like, I don't have no special hip that's just nobody has ever seen before. It's just an athlete's hip. I've had no problems before, let's say, March 13th when Karl Anthony Towns fell on me. I've never had one problem with my hip. So I know for a fact that was never a problem brought up or anything to that matter.
Isaiah, Chris Fedor, Cleveland.com. How much of a challenge has this particular injury been for you from a mental standpoint? And is there a hurdle that you feel like you've cleared recently that gives you confidence that you can get back to 100%?
From a mental standpoint, it's been tough. I've never been injured to where I've had to sit down for a long period of time. I've always been able to get in the gym and get better. And this summer has been pretty new to me, where I've had to just sit down and really reevaluate everything and make sure my hip is 100% correct. And putting myself around the right people and being traded to the Cleveland Cavaliers have helped me realize what's most important. And that's me getting 100% healthy. And I'm doing everything I can to get that. And I have jumped a hurdle. Like, I'm able to run, I'm able to defensive slide, I'm able to backpedal and do those things with no pain. So that's something that is positive for me, just because all summer I haven't done anything and I haven't even tried, because that was what they wanted me to do. And like I said, each and every day is a progression, and it's moved it's moved positively.
Were you ever discouraged during this whole rehab process?
I wasn't discouraged, because I know who I am, and I know I've been injured before. Not to this extent, but not knowing when you're going to play is definitely discouraging. Like when it first happened at the beginning of the summer, and just having to play the waiting game. But now knowing and getting people's hands on my hip and making sure it's all the right things that I'm doing. Like, I'm positive as they come. I come in here every day with a smile, knowing that I'm gonna play again, and I'm gonna play at the level that I know that I can play at, and that's the MVP caliber level.
Tony Mitchell with ESPN Radio Mansfield. Welcome to Cleveland, first of all. What can you tell us about your former teammates in Boston, and what can we expect to see from them?
Shit, I only got like 3 teammates that's still on that team. Oh, my bad. I thought you was talking about Jay. You mean Jay Crowder? Man, when you're trying to build a championship team, he's a piece that you need on that team. He's a guy that whatever role you put him in, he's going to do it to the best of his ability. He's a guy that's not going to back down from anything, and he's a guy that's been counted out his whole career. So we're kind of cut from the same cloth, and he's a guy that you guys are going to be, or the fans in Cleveland and this city is going to be appreciative of. He brings his hard hat each and every day, and not just a basketball player. He's an overall great person and one of my close friends.
Jason Lloyd, The Athletic. Is Cleveland's rehab plan for you the same as Boston's was, or is there any significant differences between the two?
They got more resources.
The clinic?
Yes. So, I mean, I've heard about the clinic before I've gotten here, and with the guys that've seen my hip and they've been with me every day for the past month, it's all positivity. It's all, you're going to get back, and you're going to get back 100% and play the way you've always played. And I can't wait till that day comes. So, not to put anything on Boston, those guys were amazing to me. The training staff, the organization, I can't say enough great things about Boston, but it is a little different here.
And one last thing, right after the trade, the other Isaiah Thomas, went on some sort of radio show or something and said that he had spoken to you right after the trade, and that Cleveland had a little bit of trust that they had to rebuild just because of everything that you went through and then being traded from Boston. Where did that stand? I know we already saw you once, but we didn't really get into this. Was that a jolt to you, or was there a trust issue that had to be rebuilt with this team just because of entering a new environment, or what was that like for you?
Oh, for sure. He was 100% right. I gave my heart to that city, and to be traded like that it hurt. It hurt, and I'm not going to lie about it. It hurt, but at the same time, like, going forward, like, you just can't give your heart to just anybody, because at the end of the day, if they make a business move like they did, it's going to hurt. But he was 100% right, but at the same time, he also told me every bump that's happened in your career, every time that you fell on the ground, which he means every time that you got traded, you bounced back and it was something better than you ever thought it would be. And I think this situation is going to be the same exact thing. Like, I couldn't be put in a better situation, a bigger platform, and to showcase that I'm one of the best players in the world and we're one of the best teams in the world.
Marla Ryan, now Akron Beacon Journal. I'm just curious from a personal standpoint, during those 3 months, could you even play with your kids, or what in the heck did you?
Even if I couldn't play with my kids, they would make me. Nah, but I was able to play with my kids. Like, it wasn't something where I couldn't do that. Like, I was able to be functional each and every day and live a normal life. I just couldn't play a 5-on-5 game with NBA stars. So
But
that was,
how maddening was that whole 3 months?
it was tough. Like I said, this is the first time in my life where I really had to sit down. And I'm one of those guys that always fought through injuries. Even if I was a little injured, I was going to play. If I can walk, I was going to play. And this was the first time in my career where I couldn't. Like, I couldn't do it, and it wasn't best for my future as a basketball player. So, but it definitely made me a better player, even though that's hard to believe. But mentally, I was able to watch a lot of film, watch every possession that I played in last year. I had so much time on my hands that I was able to get better mentally. And like I said, I'm just so excited to be able to be here and can't wait to get on the court because I know something special will happen.
All over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Here we go. Russell, good to see you.
How you doing, brother?
Good. Will you sign the contract extension before the start of the season?
Say it again.
Will you sign your contract extension that's on the beginning of the season?
Man, it's been a long, long summer. Had a baby, so I've been working on a little fatherhood. But like I said before, man, this is a place I want to be. I love being here. I'm excited about the season, obviously with a lot of new changes. And, I'm excited. And from that, I'm going to leave it there.
Russell, a lot's happened in the last 3 months. Roster-wise, what do you think of all of a sudden Paul George, Carmelo are your teammates now?
Amazing, man. To be able to play with those two guys and the rest of the guys we have, it's amazing, man. And I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to making, a great run, and I'm happy. They're here. So,
Russell, how much did you talk to Carmelo in recent days? How much were you guys involved in just kind of trying to get him here?
We always been friends. We always communicated, prior to any of this, and it just happened a couple of days ago. But we always been friends and communicated and hung out and and not just talking about basketball, but just being friends. And the same thing with PG, just communicating as well.
Russ, you've had multiple players come out. I'm sorry, I'm so nervous. Let me come back.
We've all been there, dudes. All right. Hey, Russ. You had a guy like Carmelo Anthony. Sorry. You had a guy like Carmelo Anthony, phenomenal talent, but then you lose a guy that was so important to you guys over the last few years in Enes Kanter. Just some thoughts over his time here and him as a teammate.
Enes is an amazing guy, man. I'm just thankful that he was able to be here. I wish him nothing but the best. Amazing guy, great community guy, team guy, and he was one of those guys that always brought some type of flavor to the locker room, to our team, and I'm just excited for him and nothing but good things for him.
Russell, you got a lot of obviously new faces. Does Team USA help you at all? I mean, how you guys that you've played together, especially like Carmelo, does that help at all in the transition? Just talk about some of the changes.
Definitely change. It definitely will help. I mean, obviously, when you have a team and playing Team USA, you have a lot of superstars and different guys on the same team. So, guys have to sacrifice and do different things, and that definitely helps. But here we got to figure out the best way, for everybody to play and for our team to play, and that part is easy, in my opinion. Just being able to go out and you have one goal, and that's win the championship, and guys would do what it needs to be done to win the championship.
Russell, how specifically will you enhance Carmelo on the court? What will you do to bring out the best in what he has to offer?
As a point guard, and that's a part of my job is to be able to help other guys and make their job easy. And I will constantly continue to do that for him and for the rest of our guys as well, and making his job, the PG job, and everybody's transition very, very easy.
Russell, a lot of reaction around the league so far today to what Donald Trump had to say on Friday.
Right.
I just wonder what Russell Westbrook's reaction to that would have been.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the things he's saying is outrageous. In my opinion, it's uncalled for. especially due to all the other things we have going on in the world. The people, the families, people all across the world that's hurting, that need help, that needs, guidance from our house. But I think it's just unnecessary and uncalled for. And, I'm definitely not in agreement to anything he says or never will be.
Russell, you mentioned at the beginning that Oklahoma City is the place that you want to be. And I'm just wondering what the holdup is, or what the process was like for you thinking about the extension over the summer. And
the process is, like I said before, man, I've been at home, I've been traveling, and just trying to get my family together. Honestly, having a new son can be a little difficult. And I've been trying to help my wife, help my family, enjoying, embracing that moment as much as I can, because I know during the season I'm gonna be traveling, moving around. So I just been embracing that. And finding ways to be able to do that as much as I can. And like I said before, man, like I told you guys last year, this is the place I want to be. I love being here. I love the fans. I love the people here. I'm back now to get a chance to simmer down and get everything situated. And obviously now with a few changes, I'm good. I like where I'm at, and I like where our team is.
And speaking of the actual extensions, you signed an extension with Jordan too. What was that process like for you, and what led you to
that process was easy. That process was easy, man. It's just thankful to be a part of the brand. Obviously for the next 10 or so years, man, and I'm excited just to be with the Jordan brand, and I'm excited for that whole experience.
Russell, I know you're an NFL fan, so I'm sure you saw some of the different forms of protest that happened yesterday. Do you see that spilling over into this league? And if so, how do you see that manifesting itself?
I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. I think, as for me and our team here, if it's something that, we will discuss and go back to the team and discuss how we want to approach, that in the national anthem. We have a lot of respect, for the flag, for the national anthem. And obviously, if our guys, want to do something that represents and represents togetherness and something that we can sit together as athletes, I'm all in for it.
Hey, Russ, this is your team now, so can you just talk about the job that Sam Presti's done to put these players like Carmelo and Paul George around you to try to get that championship?
Oh, man, he's done an amazing job, man. He's done a great job, ever since I've been here. He's finding ways to constantly keep making us a better team, and for that you definitely very, very thankful to have that somebody like that in charge of making those decisions, and he's done an amazing job of that.
Russell, Sam said that you had an injection in your knee. I wanted to ask, how's your knee doing, and what's the severity of that?
I'm great, man. It's just PRP, just normal stuff, something I do honestly in the summertime. Just had to move it back this year because, like I told you, I've been at home. So just, a lot of different things going on. And for me, family is the most important thing in my life. And I take very, very, I take that very, very seriously, and I take time to be able to embrace the moments of that. So, just moved it back a little bit, and I'm fine. So I'll be ready to go soon.
Now, you said that's something you do in the summertime. Is this something you've had before?
No. I've been able to get checkups. My knee is fine, great, and I'm doing well.
Yes, Russell. How does it feel going from being Russell Westbrook, the basketball player for the past 9-10 years, to being Russell Westbrook, the fashion icon, the fashion maven for the past month?
Past month.
I mean, you've been big time for the past month.
Where you been at? Man, look, it's been great. I had a book come out, so that's been a great experience. But I wouldn't say that just started a month ago. But I'm happy and excited to be able to kind of expand my brand all over the place and do different things. But just happy to be back. So, yeah.
Thank you, Russell.
Yeah.
Every exciting matchup, every incredible shot, every big moment, every game live and on demand in HD quality on every type of device. Wherever you are, whenever you want. NBA League Pass has you covered. Sign up today.
The team's quite a bit different from even when you got traded in July 1st. So what do you think of adding Carmelo?
Carmelo, I think
We we definitely felt great about what we had previous to Carmelo being traded. But now adding someone like Carmelo takes this team to another level. In my eyes, one of the best true scorers and players that this league has ever seen. And, it's a luxury to play alongside him instead of having to deal with a cold tub right after the game and playing him. So looking forward to his addition and what he's going to bring.
He's been around a long time, but still an effective scorer. You generally assume you guarded him most games.
Mm-hmm.
What's he still like to play against?
He's still tough. I think the biggest thing is the competitive nature in him. To go alongside of him being a bruiser and, just his mindset. He's one of the most skilled. It's not even his ability to score, but just the skill that he has to do other things as well. It's going to make him a very, very great piece for coach and for Russ and I to be able to use.
Paul, you guys do some similar things. How do you see your game and his game working together?
Well, hopefully, Russ and I both make the game easy as possible for Mel. I think I can take the alongside with Robertson, taking the matchups defensively to leave Melo just to do what Melo does, and that's put points on the board, and that's to be a mismatch, a matchup problems on the offensive end. But, really it's to take that pressure off him defensively to where he doesn't have to exhaust himself chasing the smaller guys or have to, defend the primary guys on most nights. So I think we'll work well together. We're completely different players in my eyes, but we both have one common goal, and that's to win. And, he's ready to win and he wants to win now. So, we definitely got that in common.
Paul, this was a question even before Melo arrived, but just the divvying up of the shots. You, Carmelo, and Russell are guys who are used to taking a bulk of the shots. How do you think that's going to work in the offense this year with you guys working together?
I mean, it should work. This is not something that's new. This is not something new where three guys have been paired up and they haven't found ways to win. It's not going to be about who's getting shots. All of us we talked about this. It's whoever has the flow, whoever has it going, and then it's I've always played the game as you let the game dictate who shoots, and those guys play the game the same way. So I'm not worried about shots. Neither of those two guys. We want to win, and that's it.
Paul, what does this tell you about this new organization you come into, the Oklahoma City Thunder, their commitment to winning, adding pieces like you and Carmelo?
It means a lot. It means a lot. When your front office is that active in the summer and free agency and acquiring not only players but acquiring superstar players, it says a lot about that front office. It sure says a lot to Russ that they're committed to bringing and putting guys around him that's going to give him the best chance to win. That's what you want to see out of a front office.
Most people agree the shorter preseason, they like that. But with all the new pieces, and not just you guys, but working with your new teammates, you got a shorter time to get that together. How do you deal with that? How long do you think it'll take before you guys can get it?
I'd be a realist. It's going to take a little bit, but I think the best thing about it, myself with Melo, we have some chemistry to an extent playing with USA together. Russ and Carmelo played together in USA, so to some extent and degree, we have some a level to start off at. We have a base, I think, but it's going to take some time. We want to get going as soon as possible and get used to one another as soon as possible. But I think if we take the approach day to day and focus on something to get better at day to day, we'll be all right.
Okay. Your versatility is remarkable at a really high level. Is there any particular thing that you feel is not a weakness, but something you can improve on, and is there something on the other end that you feel is just your biggest strength?
I think the strength is that ability to do multiple things. I think being versatile at the small forward position, offensively and defensively, is what I think make me unique in this league. I think the biggest thing I can work on, and I'll have tremendous help in that, is the leadership part. And you know, I think it's the greatest chapter for me in my career and in my life, is to have, you know, other guys I can look up to as well, who can help me on the leadership and you know, accountability, and you think all of that will kind of play a part in this process for myself.
Paul, obviously Carmelo had a choice in where he went. He had to waive a no-trade clause to come here. How much did you guys converse with him about being here, and what did you say to him about those things?
Oh, we sold it, man. We sold the heck out of it. I told him about the ponds that I've been on, the fish I've been catching out here. No, we've talked. We've had long conversations. Not even knowing that this would be the destination we end up, but just speaking or talking about the possibility of playing alongside one another in the NBA. And we've had these conversations being in the Olympic team of playing alongside one another. So, you know, when I got traded here and, you know, found out that, you know, he wanted to change his destination, and, you know, we reached out to one another. We started talking and tried to figure out how we can make this work to get him here. And, you know, it's awesome to have guys to want to play alongside you and team up with you and share a mission with you. So we got right to it. And the same went for us, you know. Those two are pretty close. You know, we all were kind of in the loop on what was going on, and we made it possible.
Speaking of that, PG recruiting, there's been sources saying that you've been talking to D-Wade. You guys were trying to recruit him too. Can you just talk about that a little bit and see what, you know, what's going on with that as far as bringing him here?
That's between Sam and D-Wade. You know, it'd be great. It'd be great to get D-Wade back. I got a chance to work out with him a little bit ago, late in the summer, and man, he looks really good. So it'd be great to get D-Wade here. You know, if he's bought out, he's a free agent, sure. I'm in his phone text, I'm in his DMs, his Snapchat, whatever I got to do. I'm just try to get this dude here.
Paul, in today's NBA, is it realistic to think that this is what it takes to win a championship, to assemble this kind of talent, yourself, Russell, and Carmelo?
Absolutely. You know, we get criticized a lot for being friendly and you know, not being able to do it alone. Honestly, in this league, you know, it's hard to do it alone. You know, Russ averaged a triple-double, and you know, he couldn't get out the first round. And that's a special talent in a guy that did everything he could to win. But you just need, you know, guys of that stature and that level to be able to help and create something special. You know, it's just that era where you got to face teams that are going to have 2 or 3 guys that can take over games and be iconic to this league. So I do think you know, you have to have that to compete in this league.
There's been a lot of reaction yesterday in stadiums, Paul, and then today around the league and media days of the NBA in regard to Donald Trump's Friday comment. Just what do you expect? There's the league rule, I guess, that specifies you guys have to line up for the anthem. But what do you anticipate in the NBA in regard to, you know, the first month of the season or the season as a whole or whatever in regard to a statement?
I'm not sure. You know, I'm not sure. I can't speak for other organizations or other teams or the locker rooms. Hopefully, whatever we do as a unit, as a union and as a fraternity, we do it. Everyone has take a part into doing something. Hopefully, we do something as a league that gives us strength. I thought what the NFL is doing right now is beautiful. They're showing a lot of power, not only from the players, but the front office making statements that they're going to back their players up in whatever they do. I thought that was very powerful. So hopefully we can approach it the same way the NFL is doing it. I saw MLB guys taking part into it. So if we could just realize what's at hand, we're the face of a lot of things. We're a face of a lot of brands. We can use that platform to kind of catapult what's going on. That's where we can make our mark.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Radio Hall of Fame basketball. The first NBA radio for all the fans around the world. Radio Hall of Fame basketball. We talk about NBA. We talk about passion. We are your radio.
Yeah, Carmelo, whenever the possibility of you coming to Oklahoma City was brought up, the common theory was you would never want to play in Oklahoma City.
That's because nobody really knew me. But
so my question is, anything with obviously great roster and great organization, but the thought of playing and living in Oklahoma City, why was that okay for you?
Well, first of all, it happened so fast, so quickly. Where I had to make a quick decision. But believe it or not, Oklahoma City was a team that me and my team talked about. We discussed it, and if the opportunity presented itself, whereas though we can kind of bring a deal to the Knicks organization, is something that both parties feel comfortable with. This was a team, this was an organization, this was a city that I had no problem coming and being a part of.
Carmelo, how much did Russell and Paul play a part in that, just in terms of convincing you to be here and wanting to play with you?
Russ don't really do the convincing. He came to New York, played pickup at my gym. I saw him in Paris at Fashion Week. Me and Russ became close and closer over the years, and he was a big part. He was a big reason why I wanted to come here. To see his loyalty to the city, to this organization, what he was able to do, on the court. I wanted to be a part of that. Adding PG was just another reason why I wanted to come here. Our relationship, our friendship, but our respect for one another as basketball players was a reason that I wanted to play alongside him and have an opportunity to compete for a championship and kind of just bring, some more energy. Not like this city needs any more energy, but, it's a different energy, a different focus, a different motivation that I myself have, Paul has, and Russ has, being that we haven't won a championship yet in our career, and we see that, and that's our ultimate goal.
Melo, you posted on your website kind of like a love letter to New York, saying goodbye to everybody. When you look back, and I guess how will you reflect on your time with the Knicks, and how do you think, or how do you hope fans will remember your legacy there?
Well, I think you have to ask those fans. I think for every fan, they would give you a different answer to that. But I thought I became a product of my environment as far as adjusting to what I had to adjust to from a basketball standpoint. Win, lose, or draw. I was there every night. I came in, competed every night. I stayed professional throughout, all the ups and downs of, that comes along with being in New York. It was a lot of noise, so I had to find some type of, quietness and, find some me time to, try to figure this all out. But I don't think the fans will have anything bad to say, because I think they understand. They're very educated. They understand what it's like playing in New York. And for me, I feel like I've embraced all of those challenges, playing in New York. And off the court, I was very, engaged with the community, engaged with the youth, family, friends. I will always feel like I'm a major part of that city. So that's not going anywhere. And I just want those fans to understand that this was a business decision. This was a career decision, and it happens. It's sports. There's times in sports where everybody got to go their separate ways, and there's no hard feelings. There's no bad blood between myself and that organization or anybody over there. But I'm here now, and I would like to close that chapter and begin this new chapter.
The common thing when you bring three guys that have been lead dogs on their teams, can they mesh? Do you see that as a problem? And then two, you got a short preseason, which I think everybody likes, players and fans alike, but that's a shorter time to work together. You see that being an issue?
I don't see. The only issue I probably would say that we're going to face is the chemistry early. Getting to know one another. Not trying to make it all happen all in one night, all in one game, and understand that this is a process. This is a marathon, and it's going to take a little bit of time to for us to gel. Not just us three, but the whole team to get a chance to know one another. But at the end of the day, is basketball, and I'm not. I didn't want to come here to try to outshine Paul or Russ and vice versa. We're trying to win basketball games, and by any means necessary, we're going to do that. And I'm going to bring my skill set, here to this team, here to this organization, and that's what I'm here for. And I've always been kind of a product of my environment and being able to just be a chameleon in the sense of just blending into my situation and making that situation work, whatever it calls for, whether I was with the New York Knicks, whether I was on the USA team, and even here in Oklahoma.
Carmelo, you've carried an awful lot of the scoring load on your teams throughout the years. Just what does it mean to you to look at the roster, look at these guys, and recognize that you don't necessarily have to do that anymore?
Yeah, it's a difference, though, because I don't want to take the load on of have to do it and score and 30, 40, 50 points every night. But, I score. That's that's what I do. I can't take that away from me. I think being that I do that very well, I think this team needs that, along with, some other things. So I didn't come here to just be a rebounder or, I came here to bring my skill set to this team and, and fit into kind of what's the plan. I haven't sat down with Coach yet to see kind of, how we're going to play, what we're going to do in schemes and things like that. But for the most part, I just want to be able to do what I do best within the confines of, the system and what Coach won and being able to work alongside Russ and PG.
Carmelo, you only get one chance to make a first impression, they say. What was your first impression? The fans meeting you at the airport? Your first impression of Oklahoma City?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. To go from a situation where it was just so, it was an emotional roller coaster for me, being back in New York. At times it was very strenuous on myself, on my family. My family is actually, still there back in New York. So I just want to take my hat off to them for being able to stick it out with me and deal with that and deal with me after, the long nights and the lonely nights. But to come here on the flip side of that and just feel that passion and feel that energy, and anytime you feel wanted and appreciated, that you can't even put those, those feelings into words.
Carmelo, what's your history with Billy Donovan? How well do you know each other, and what are your thoughts on him as a coach?
I really don't. I have no history with Coach. So that's going to be another process that we have to get used to. But I respect him, Hall of Fame coach. I respect him. I know his, I know his pedigree. I know what, his resume. I know what he's about. Technically speaking, he's a young coach in this league, still learning. But I'm all in. I'm all in with him. Whatever he needs from me, I'm there. He can communicate with me. He can come talk to me. I can come talk to him. And I think that's the way that we're going to make this thing work. And I'm letting him coach. I'll be the player, and I respect that, and we go from there.
Melo, I had two questions actually. The first is, how do you feel about starting at the four, or the concept of starting at the four, or even coming off the bench? And the second question is,
well, me?
Oh. I guess that answers that part.
I don't know where that started, where that came from. Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, well, how do you? I guess the bench question is not a question, but how do you feel about the potential of starting at the 4? And then on a lighter note, how do you feel about the phenomenon of Hoodie Melo?
The first part is to speak on playing the 4. I won't even call it the power forward position anymore in this day and game. It's a 4. You know, it's a number. You're out there on the basketball court. It's a position. I don't feel no type of way. I feel like, you know, there has been times where I've been my strongest at that position. You know, like I said earlier, I can adjust. You know, if you need me to play the 3, which is my natural position, I would do that. You need me to play the 4, which is, you know, I think I can actually be a lot better at the 4 with this team. Then I'll do that. You know, and I'll be moving around, so I'll be moving around. But I have no problem with playing the 4, none at all. I actually like that. I actually embrace that, and I think for this team, it would be better for me to play the 4 and more beneficial to everybody. And the Hoodie Melo thing, you know, it for me it was just actually it started with a beanie. Like I was just in the gym and I didn't have a haircut, and I'm just gonna go and throw a hat on. I wanted to sweat, and I just started working back out in the summer, and then from there it went to a hoodie, and it got out, and the phenomenon started. But for me, it was just about showing a different focus that I have, a different motivation, and just kind of just locking in to what I have to do, and locking myself into the gym, and locking myself into focusing in on my body, and because I didn't know what was going to happen, so. It was just so much going on that was surrounding me that I just wanted to find a way that I can just focus in, and that's when Hoodie Melo was created.
Carmelo, can you tell us where Dwayne Wade will be playing this year?
Where is he? I have no idea, to be honest with you. I would love to have him here in Oklahoma City, but am I allowed to say that? Is that tampering? Oh, he's free now? Come on, D. You know you belong at. Come on. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, Carmelo, with the lack of media coverage on Puerto Rico after the hurricane.
That's the most important question of the day.
And with you being one of the few players in the league with familial ties to the island, can you tell me what you're doing maybe to help the recovery efforts, and maybe what your new fan base can do to help you out with that?
Yeah, well, I've started kind of a You Caring page, a link, and just kind of trying to raise the funds to kind of bring Puerto Rico back and help Puerto Rico by any means necessary. I'm committed to my island to help everything, and I'm talking to the government officials down there. I'm talking to all these organizations of just trying to figure everything out. I don't want to just do something just to do it. I want it to be meaningful. I want the people to feel impacted by what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to create. So it's just so much that's just going on right now down there on the island that it's hard to say I'm going to do this or I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. It's not until we really figure out exactly what's going on, exactly what we're going to do. But I'm committed, and I call on everybody, any and everybody, to not overlook Puerto Rico, because there's so many things that's going on in the world today, in our country today, and at the end of the day, Puerto Rico is a part of the United States, so we cannot overlook that island. So I challenge the powers that be, the President of the United States, to not overlook Puerto Rico. Don't overlook our Puerto Ricans. We need your help, and we need all the help that we can get. So.
Face all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Feel with everything going on?
I feel great. The past couple weeks, the past couple months since the surgery, I've been working pretty hard on my rehab, especially on my body, because watching myself play last year, I used my body a lot, so there's a lot of stuff I had to correct. So the main focus this summer was on my body, and then I think we've been doing a great job of it. I feel good about myself, and can't wait to be back on the court. And as far as everything else, you just feel amazing.
Joel, have you had any swelling of your knee or any small procedures since the meniscal surgery back in March?
No, it's just been we've just been following the plan, and everything has been going good. In fact, the scans I think we've done 2 or 3 scans since the surgery, and everything looks perfect. So we just got to keep managing it, making sure. I think I had a swelling I had the swelling at the beginning, but it was obviously normal and stuff. So you just got to keep managing that, and I think it's just about following the plan. And they have a plan in place, and just got to keep following it.
So basically, in your opinion, you could go out. I know they're being cautious, but in your opinion, you could go out there and play 5-on-5.
I think so. I mean, if it was Game 7 or the finals, definitely. But there's a plan in place, and I got to check a couple boxes before the season or before my first game of the season. So that's what I intend to do.
Joel, you've spoken a lot about this team in terms of what it can be. And I'm just wondering how much of your thinking when you think about the team is based on where you guys are going and how much of it is where you guys are right now.
I think we're just extremely young right now. We added a couple vets on the team. I feel like I'm a vet too. So we're just so young. We gotta learn how to play with each other. We gotta find a way to play with each other, and we gotta find the right system. So that's just basically when I watch other young teams like Minnesota last year, they were so young and they were expected to be really good. All summer, all the guys have been in the gym working to make sure that we have a good year, and we have a lot of potential. And I think the key is just to stay healthy.
Joel, what do you think the timetable is for you to be totally unleashed to, play as much as you want? And when that does happen, how dangerous do you think you can be?
I think the timetable, we've been focusing on the first game of the season. There's a lot, we got training camp coming up starting tomorrow. We got a couple preseason game. Might play in those, but if I'm not 100%, they're not gonna put me out there. And it's not just about rehabbing. It's also about being in the best shape possible, which I'm not yet at that level. But hopefully, I think the timetable is just first game of the season, and when I get out there, I think I've gotten so much better this off season too. I worked on my game all around, and I see what everybody say on Twitter. It doesn't bother me. I love it. I love critics, and it just makes me better. And I love seeing people saying that I can't do this, and I'm gonna go out there and work on it and come back the next game or whenever I can to show them that I can do this. So I'm just excited, and think we're gonna see a lot of good things this year.
Joel, barring any setbacks, how many games do you realistically expect to play this season?
It's hard to tell. Depends. It depends on my body and depends how the team handle it. If I could play 82 games, I would, but I'll be honest, I don't think I'll play 82 games. That's not happening. But hopefully I do that. So hopefully the minute restrictions go away too. So, like I said, I'm just focused on my path to being back on the court, and we're gonna see everything after that.
Joel, one of the reports on Twitter says that you're not ready for 5-on-5, and that has to do with a contract situation. Is there any truth to that?
No. I don't know. Where's he at? Whatever his name is. man, I feel like some guys just put reports out there to create a controversy. And I love basketball, and when I'm on the basketball court, it's kind of hard to like get me off of it. So, like someone telling me that I'm holding out because contract negotiation. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't have no leverage. I'm going into my fourth season, and I'm going to be a restricted free agent. So there's no leverage. They can do whatever they want, and there's been discussions about it. Hopefully something that gets worked out. I'm worried about getting back on the court, and that's all I care about. If it happens, it's gonna happen. If it doesn't, well, just gotta keep focus on the fourth season, and after this year, be a free agent, and we're gonna see what comes with it.
Joel, you were at the Eagles game yesterday, and there was a video of you over here. You were at the Eagles game yesterday, and you were jumping around at the Jake Elliott field goal. How important is it to, I guess, support like the other pro cities teams and just trying to get involved with the city and kind of just get the fans involved and get them excited?
I love the city of Philadelphia. They got the best fans. I went to the game yesterday, and it was probably the most love I've ever gotten in the city yet, because I went to the game. Went to the VIP session, but I had to go through basically the whole stadium back to the Wells Fargo to go see somebody, and the love I got just walking around and people screaming my name, trust the process all over the place. It was amazing. It just shows you that the city, they love basketball so much, they love the Sixers, and I gotta show them. Gotta be a winner too, because at some point they're gonna expect us to win, and I intend to do. And by doing that, I gotta stay healthy.
Joel, you said you worked to correct some things this summer with your body. Was there anything specifically that you worked on, like landing in traffic, or any specific skills or traits you think you worked on?
We've been working a lot on landing. I think landing is just about, me jumping on the stands and to save a ball and stuff like that. There's some stuff I got to correct, but we've been working a lot on landing, especially, I fell a lot last year. I think it was also because I was flopping too. So I gotta stop flopping this season. But we've been working a lot of strength in the gym, and I feel good about the season.
All right, Joel, you talked about how you love the critics, and Ben Simmons was up here before talking about kind of being snubbed in that rookie poll, and he said he's going to make people remember. You guys seemingly, since you guys both got here, I've always talked about the critics or wanting to prove everybody wrong. Is that because of the kind of the national response to what's going on here, or is that inherent in you guys as competitors?
It's just about being competitive. I love to win. I do anything to win. I put my body on the line to win. So I'm a big man, and I never viewed myself as a big man. So when I see guards do certain things, I want to do that too, because I'm a human being, and it doesn't matter that I'm 7 feet. I want to do that too. When people say, I feel like people haven't really seen what I can do, and it's also because I've only played 31 games, and I think as long as I stay healthy, I got a lot to improve on, and a lot of potential. So it's just about I love it. I love when people criticize me. I love when you guys say whatever you have to say, because that makes me go to the gym and work on it and improve myself.
Is this something from your upbringing, or just coming up playing sports that you like that criticism?
I think it's just about me. I started playing basketball so late in 2011, and I've always had a chip on my shoulder, because when I came to the state, not gonna lie, being African, I had to work twice as hard as the other players and stuff to be in, because I played JV my junior year in high school when I got here. So being on the JV team, it pushed me to want to be better. And so I've always had that chip on the shoulder. And then in my mind, it's always been like, well, I came to the state being African. I don't want to go back over there without having doing anything. So I want to become somebody. So that's why I think that's why I got the competitive nature from. And sometimes it's like can lead me to bad routes and stuff. But I think for the most part, the coaches, the fans, they love it. And then I think you need that. I mean, if you want to be the greatest or one of the greatest, you need that. Like all those guys, they have that in them. Like they want to win. They're competitive.
Joel, Joel, you've become over here. You've become a symbol for the fans in a lot of ways. You experienced that yesterday at the Eagles game, just the latest time, because of sort of your willingness to embrace and think about the future. I'm wondering these days, how much do you let yourself think about the future, and what does it look like when you do?
I think it looks really good as long as we stay healthy. We've been working a lot. We have the past couple of years have been tough, and as long as we stay healthy, that future looks bright. We got a lot of pieces. Got to find a way to play together. I've been watching. I haven't been able to play 5-on-5, but I've been working a lot of my game, playing 1-on-1 and by myself. So feel good about it, and gotta stay healthy, and future's bright.
You traveled to South Africa this summer. How was that experience for you?
It was amazing. Went to South Africa and then also went back home to Cameroon. My main goal since I got to the league, I wanted to go back to South Africa, basketball without borders, because that's basically where it all started for me. Went to that camp and then I got a scholarship to come to the States. So me going back over there was just a message basically for those African kids that are trying to make it. That I mean, knowing that I started playing basketball so late, it just shows you that as long as you work hard, it's going to pay off. And that's why I wanted to spend time with them, just to give them motivation that anything is possible. I know we don't have a lot of African players in the league, but you guys are next, and I intend to keep improving myself and make sure that I reach a certain level where I can draw people in and make people believe in themselves.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.
Radio Hall of Fame basketball. The first NBA radio for all the fans around the world. Radio Hall of Fame basketball. We talk about NBA. We talk about passion. We are your radio.
The most important? I mean, every moment of my life is pretty important to me. But I wouldn't go that far in terms of saying it's the most important. I think that it's probably the most interesting in terms of the season that I'm coming into. And thinking about the amount of adjustments I have to make, the amount of things I have to learn, the different individuals that I have to learn about. So there's just a lot of newness. So I would say that rather than just being the most important year of my career. If you frame it like that, it's just a lot of newness that I have to get used to, which I'm excited about. A lot of challenges, a lot of things that I have to just be very, very resilient about, because it's just going to come in waves, and I'm understanding of that. So I'm looking forward to the challenge and the excitement and the ups and downs and everything that comes with it. So yeah.
When Lebron came to Cleveland a few years ago, you guys as a team got up to a little bit rough start, but you guys progressively got better. How much does that experience, having gone through something like that, prepare you for what you are about to embark on here in Boston?
Well, it definitely attributes to figuring out how patient you are at that moment, and then how much you have to be with just like I talked about, that newness of learning individuals and learning a system and getting used to playing in a different environment, and a different vibe, and different energies and stuff like that. That takes a while. So you just have to be very patient in your approach, and I speak on that pretty often. So it's not trying to figure out one thing or a few things in one day or after one game, and it's going to come in waves, man. Like, these ups and downs are what we're about to face as a team and as a collective group. It's going to be fairly interesting, and it'll really echo in terms of our identity and how we respond. So I'm looking forward to that aspect, and as well as experiencing those things firsthand, of going through those experiences with a new group. So it's exciting. So you just got to figure it out, and that's what life is about. So it's pretty easy. Well, you know, when you talk about a special guy like that, and coming to a team, and he's able to teach you a few things, and as well as you're able to lean on not only him but other individuals that are on the team to help you progress as a man and as a player. You know, you try to take the good and the good things from that and apply it to anything that you're doing in life. So a lot of things that I've learned from him, as well as being in that organization, being with those veterans that were ahead of me, because at one point I was on the oldest team in the league, or one of the oldest teams. So if you're not picking up some experience and some wisdom for those veterans, I mean, what are you really in this game for? So I had the luxury and unique opportunity to play with those special guys. So seeing the grind of the 82-game season, coming as a young player, and not necessarily putting as much pressure on yourself during the regular season and during those intimate moments when you know, they define you as a team or define you as an individual, man. So you know, for me, I always wanted to play well. I want to perfect what I'm doing. I want to do this. I want to do that. And you know, I just was carrying the weight of a lot of responsibility, and that's natural, especially when you want to be a very great player. So when you figure that out and you understand that it's a process, man. It's a progression. It's peaks and valleys. You want to necessarily stay at the peaks as long as you can. That's the echo of greatness, how long you can stay at that top echelon. And I had the unique opportunity to be on a team like that, of having the target on our back constantly and going into situations and being able to get the best shot from all the best teams in the league. So.
Kyrie, LeBron also said that he wondered whether there was something that he could do better in order to keep you from making that trade request. What would you tell him?
Wait, can you ask that one more time?
He basically said he wondered if there was something that he could do better in order so that you didn't request to be traded.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What would you tell him?
I mean, if we ever have that conversation, I don't think it's for anybody else but me and him. So.
Were there things, though, that you felt like?
Even if, like, that's what I'm saying, Jeff. Like, even if there are things, like, it's not anybody else's business. It's just really between two men. So that's really where it is. You know, as much as you would like, as much as everyone here would love to hear that, it's just that's between two men, and that's what does.
Listen,
Yeah.
I think everybody would like to know, and I know you've kind of talked about it to some degree, but not the details of why you wanted to leave Cleveland, I guess, more than anything else.
Yeah.
Do you want to have that discussion with him? You said
I mean, like I said, if it happens or not, I'm pretty sure you guys won't know about it. So it's not whether or not I want to or not. It's literally just about having the respect of two men and having that conversation be respected. That's all.
Kyrie, I'm wondering what your reaction was when you heard the president's comments over the weekend about NFL players and then also his comments on Steph Curry.
Man, it was a heck of a weekend. I'll tell you that. It's been a lot of emotions, a lot of disconnect, a lot of opinions, a lot of things that have feelings of things that have either happened this weekend or that have happened in the past, and people have problems with, and to be able to have that realization that our voices can be heard, and understanding the intent on why individuals do the things that they do in order to feel like they're making a change in society, or they're pushing forward a culture that ultimately was founded on some questionable things, and it's your right to have that ability to stand up and say something, whether that be kneeling, whatever the action is, as long as the individual knows the intent behind it. There is no black and white. There is no gray area in between. There is no figuring it out. It's what's right, and that's what's right for our society and human beings. It's not between the veterans and the military and someone kneeling in the national anthem. It's much bigger than that. It's a human being thing, and knowing that intent on fighting the inequalities of certain things that you have a problem with, I feel like it's every person's right to speak up and say what they feel on it, as long as it's not with the intent to create more and more division between people. I don't think that's how we further anything going forward, and I think that's what it's done, unfortunately, at times. It's created a division between people and between the race and the social classes and everything. So it goes along the line. It goes along the line of what's been going on in history for a while, and it's good to see people fighting for their rights and fighting for human equality rather than just one particular thing. So,
do you think that athletes are just starting to realize the power they have in terms of that kind of stuff?
You said just starting to?
Well, maybe they're more involved.
Yeah, I guess you can say that. I think that certain individuals have definitely taken a stance, and the positive repercussions have never come. They've either disappeared, or they've never been heard from again, or you haven't heard anything from them again, or they've lost their job, or they've done something for standing up for what they believe in, and it's been coming from individuals that have bashed them for making a decision based on what they want to do with their lives, and that's something I can't agree with. So whether it be more athletes are bold or more people are bold to come forward, it's been happening throughout history. It just depends on whether you want to acknowledge it or not.
Does it get worse before it gets better?
You said, does it get worse before it gets better? The hope is progression, man. The hope is progression. But I think the beautiful thing is that people are starting to wake up. They're starting to very much awake. So,
along the lines of what you're talking about, and as it relates to Celtics, I don't know if you knew that you were going to come to this franchise. Obviously, you knew the winning tradition behind it, but there's also a tradition of guys like Russell, Sam Jones, Casey Jones, Brett Auerbach, and the relationship that they had. In fact, the Celtics had the first black player, first black head coach.
Mm-hmm.
Does that resonate with you now that the organization that you're with has that history? Because it seems like it's very...
I know that their stance is to be behind their players and also prove through actions that equality exists, even in working environments, even in our society, and to be part of an organization that echoes that. It makes it that much greater, and I can't wait to speak some of the individuals that have come before me to be able to connect to that and have those conversations, because at the end of the day, there was never a color seen. It was just a human being, and I think that we all can appreciate that when that judgment doesn't come from anywhere but a great place and having the best intentions for a person. That's it. You don't know him from a can of paint, but the fact that you can walk up to him and have that same respect and offer that, it goes a long way for people. So.
Jalen, actually, he reached out to a few of you guys about maybe doing some sort of protest or doing something this season. How much discussion, I guess, have you guys had?
Well, it'll be. I can't wait to dive into more of those discussions with Jalen. You said Jalen, right? Yeah. So. I know he feels strongly about a few issues as well. So when we get a chance to meet as a group and discuss all those things, definitely, whether you see it or not, it'll be discussed, and we'll go over it.
Kyrie, what do you want your teammates to know about you, or what are they going to learn about you as a leader, as a Celtic?
Well, it's just as straightforward and transparent as you get. This is something that I really enjoy doing. That's putting the basketball in the hoop at a very high level. I've been dreaming about it since I was a kid. And to commit yourself to being the best that you can be, to be able to share that with other individuals and go after a goal that we all collectively share and we want to accomplish, there's nothing like it. There's nothing greater than being on a team and sacrificing the time that, and as I think you guys can all attest to this too, is that the sacrifice of traveling and the sacrifice of going to different cities and figuring out, the analysis of basketball and basketball information. And us as athletes and players, it's our job just to commit ourselves. So we give up a lot of that time, and we end up being with each other more than we were with our families for majority of the time. And that's a commitment you got to make to the game. And I've made that commitment since I've come into the league. Now, I may not have understood what that commitment may have meant when I was a younger player, but now I'm definitely able to share what that means to me and how we can accomplish a goal bigger than ourselves by just being honest and going out there and competing.
Last question for Kyrie.
Kyrie, do you think you're fully respected for your intellectual thoughts off the floor as well as your game on the floor? Is it something that bothered you or had an issue with over the years?
I mean, I care just like any other individual. It's just that at times you wish that that same respect could be echoed through other people, you know what I mean? But you can't worry about it. If it's strictly a basketball and you want to talk analysis of basketball, I'm cool with that as well. But to kind of, I never want to mask what I'm about and who I am. And to my teammates, to anybody here, like, I'm not here to necessarily befriend everyone, but the respect, that's all you could want. And if you want to talk about those issues that are definitely plaguing our society, I'm cool with that as well. I'm an open book. I read just as much. I want to learn more about people just as much, and I love this world like anyone else. So I want to see it go forward in any way that I can do that, whether that through basketball or whether that through connecting with you guys, speaking to you individually, or whatever the case may be. I enjoy it because I care about people. So.
Great. Thank you, Kyrie.
In your face, all over the place. We're online 24/7. 24/7. You're listening to the hottest internet station.